Right now, 1.2 billion people are navigating severe mental health challenges, and a massive portion of them are teenagers. Take a look at this household spending breakdown. We dedicate massive amounts of money to physical comforts, better food, nicer clothes, safer cars. But look at the brain budget. The financial and emotional investment in our family's psychological development is almost zero. By starving that psychological budget, we leave our kids without defense mechanisms. When they face a dopamine system constantly hijacked by endless scrolling and screen addiction, they simply don't have the internal tools to cope. You see the symptoms every day. A once curious child becomes stubbornly defiant. They lose their motivation. Their daily routines look completely aimless. This brings up an incredibly uncomfortable question. When a child fails to thrive in this environment, is the well-meaning parent actually acting as their role model, or are they the villain of the story? Our default reaction is usually to throw money at the surface-level problem. We hire expensive tutors or crack down with stricter study schedules, expecting that to suddenly generate motivation. But true brilliance doesn't come from forcing obedience. It requires a complete shift in the parent's mindset and a deep understanding of how a child's neurology adapts to stress. You cannot buy a genius through better academic tools. You have to engineer a highly specific, calm psychological state, a state that the modern, highly distracted household actively destroys. To understand this, we look at a simple ratio. The bottom 80% of achievement is the inner battle, dictated by mental state. The remaining 20% is the outer battle, physical execution, like doing homework or studying. The formula for building that massive 80% foundation is exact. It requires a precise combination of healthy mindset, discipline, and consistent action. If a child's mind is actively resisting, they have already lost that inner battle. Trying to force the 20% of physical studying onto a stressed, unregulated brain simply does not work. Without winning that internal battle first, external pressure only increases psychological resistance, making any attempt at academic brilliance feel like a burden rather than an achievement. We often assume parent-child relationships deteriorate because of a lack of love. The psychological reality is actually the opposite. They break down due to a lack of defined boundaries. Think about a classic punishment. Locking a misbehaving kid in their room does not trigger quiet self-reflection. It just builds quiet resentment. Instead of isolation, kids need specific neurological tools like self-talk and autosuggestion. These techniques allow them to regulate their own emotions and align their thoughts with positive actions. We can even look to historic mindfulness practices for proof. Practices like muraqabah, or deep meditation, physically removed from the chaos of the city below, have been proven for centuries to regulate the nervous system and combat stress. But every child is different. Applying the wrong mental strategy to your child's specific intelligence profile guarantees failure. You have to tailor the tool to the mind. Permanently shifting a child's trajectory cannot be done in isolation. It requires a solid structural framework. We call this the parenting triangle. It is a required alliance between the child, the parent, and professional counseling. This alliance supports 7 distinct developmental pillars: mental health, moral values, work ethics, social service, academic excellence, career orientation, and scientific thinking. When these pillars work together, they create a stable environment for growth. If we isolate academics from ethics or mental health, we produce high achievers who lack the internal resilience to sustain their success. But the absolute prerequisite for the child's success doesn't start with the child at all. The transformation has to begin within the parent's own mind. Because the person who controls their mind and habits controls their future. It is time to stop relying on luck. We have to start actively investing in the brain budget of our households. When a parent masters their own inner battle and secures the household's psychological environment, their child's brilliance follows as the natural result of a healthy ecosystem.